up, everybody? Woo, it's Friday. What's up, Jim? How's things today? Turn the TV off. Pay attention to what I'm doing. Give everybody a few minutes, see if people are going to show up on a Friday afternoon. Fish fry Friday. Woo! Every day's fish fry. I had fish fry yesterday. You want to know what's odd, Rick? I'll tell you a funny story. I would eat. I grew up like all of us here. I grew up on haddock fish fry. I'd rather eat haddock than catching and cleaning and frying my own walleye and perch. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I love fish fry. Haddock fish fry dinner is as good as it gets to me. Grew up with it, and it was always haddock. Not to say that I don't love walleye and perch, but if you made me choose, I would choose haddock sandwich every time. I love fish fry. We went to the Fish Cove yesterday in North Syracuse and grabbed a couple sandwiches for lunch and some of their onion rings, which are outstanding. The fish is awesome too. So if you're a Central New Yorker, really anybody, but I mean, if fish fry is a thing where you're from, again, being a Central New York kid, there was Doug's always. There was the Fish Cove down in God, that's almost Mattydale, south of Sweetheart Corners. The Fish Cove I'm talking about is north of Sweetheart Corners. There's the Legion over on 31 in Cicero. But I'm from the Cicero, Brewerton, Central Square area, but like if you're Stan's Seafood in Rome, okay, I'm not familiar with that end of the lake really at all. Matter of fact, I was just talking to my web designer last night. His name is Mark Webb. Funny enough, right? He designs websites. His name's Webb. When you guys know I was doing that job out in Sylvan Beach, and when my son and I finished it up, the day before we finished, the homeowner, the lady that owned the camp, brought us this huge box of food, and it looked like a pizza box to me. It was triangular, or not triangular, Jesus. It was rectangular shaped as opposed to round or square, And she's like, here, it's from a local place that, tell your wife not to cook dinner tonight. So I brought it home, and it was this huge thing of salad and Riggies and Utica greens, and it was from La Roma Pizza in Rome. And the food was delicious. But I'm going to tell you that the Italian dressing that La Roma had that came in the little container that they made and they put it in the box was the best Italian dressing I've ever had in my life, ever. Okay, so you know it, La Roma, okay. And I told my buddy Mark, I said, because he's working overtime I'm going to tell you guys what, when everything goes off without a hitch, technically and technologically, and everything is done seamlessly through the website, we're all going to owe Mark a tremendous debt of gratitude, because he's doing this by himself and he's just knocking it out of the park. I mean, everything I say, I'd like this to be able to do this, he goes, okay, and does it. And I'm like, wow, really? It's that easy. Not that it's easy, but he's making it look easy. So we're, Courtney and I, although we don't feel very great today, she's upstairs sound asleep, not feeling good. As soon as everyone here on this end is healthy, we're taking him and his wife out to dinner out there, and we're going to La Roma in Rome, and he knows about it too. He's in Whitesboro. So Jim G, first time I've made it all week. Right on, buddy. Glad to have you. Listen, I had stuff going on this morning. I had a meeting at lunchtime. I had running around getting some medicine for Courtney so she feels better, and some lunch, and I was going to do something this morning, but I was like I say, and I've been working on Walleye Fest since about 4:30 this morning. Um, and I know, like the goal is going to be to knock off like 4:45. That way, everybody gets out of work on time. Gives everybody something to do for that last hour at work when it's a Friday. And even though winter Fridays aren't as good as summer Fridays, um, Fridays are Fridays, and you want to be able to get out at 5. Um, every the last 7 jobs I had, I was the boss, and so I always was the last one to leave. I was never. I wished I would have been a boss that was like, I'm out of here. See, it sucks to be you guys. I'll see you later. I was never. I was always the one to be like, no, you guys go. I'll close up. I don't know why I ever did that. Waiting on that logo reveal. Tell me about it. It's in the designer's hands. I had some last minute things that I wanted changed. Um, I sent out the logo to 4 people in my super close circle that are also Derby, let's call them committee members of mine, that are going to help me with making decisions and trying to run the smoothest tournament as possible. Ultimately, I'm the tournament director or Derby director, so I would have the last say in something. But I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I sent them the logo, and everyone's like, "Oh, that looks great," but not like, "Oh, that's fantastic." And that's what I'm looking for is "Oh, that's amazing." That's so cool. I can't wait to have a shirt with that on it, or whatever, a pin. So there was a few things we had to change and make awesomer, more awesome, to become more awesome. So that's the goal. So yeah, hopefully today, because everything else is in place. Everything else is in place for Wednesday to start selling tickets. All the vendors that have been calling me and messaging me, I'll have the vendor site up next week as well, so you guys can start looking at the site map and picking out, possible locations where you'd like to be. And I'm going to try to put the mix of people as best I can. So we don't clump people together that are, especially if they're selling like products. Because I want people to really be able to look and walk around through the festival grounds and really see good, interesting, pertinent vendors that you're going to want to walk around and talk to and frequent and shop with and buy. Obviously, a vendor is there to sell his wares, and it's up to the vendor to stand out and attract his buyer. Just because a vendor shows up, I don't believe that that's any inclination that they are entitled to business. Business is just that. It's business, and this is a business. Like we're trying to do right by everybody, and Walleye Fest is going to be that time where your business can get in front of a lot of people in a very short amount of time, and people that are certainly focused as far as a demographic. It's going to be outdoors people, outdoorsy type of people, local people, certainly local to throughout central New York. And central New York in this term is going to really stretch through the whole middle, because it's really from Albany. I would think that we should be getting customers from the beauty of Syracuse and of Oneida Lake is it sits right in the crosshairs. It's kind of funny. My JT shirt is crosshairs. So this is 81 going north and south, and this is I-90 going east and west. And there's Syracuse, and there's Oneida Lake right there. Boom. So that's as centrally located. So you got people from Watertown and Binghamton, and from Buffalo and Albany. And I know guys that are going to come in from Mass and Connecticut and out that way. I guarantee you there's going to be a ton of guys coming up the 81 corridor out of Pennsylvania and coming from the west. Once these walleye hounds in Ohio and farther west start hearing about the kind of money that we're going to have in our derby, you're going to see guys coming in trying to try their luck. And so, geez, I mean, New Yorkers better better step up and represent their own house, because I guarantee you there's going to be people from all over the Northeast and Canada come to fish this derby. It is setting up to be the biggest and the best that the Lions Club has ever had. And again, they're not doing it anymore, but they've had it for 43 years. And 1991 was their best year ever at 4,300 tickets sold. And so my immediate goal is the very first year I want to set the all-time record. That means 4,400 tickets sold or more. And or more is the key point here, because even 4,400, I'm not satisfied with just that. I want more. We want this to be the biggest and the best, and to build that reputation now from year one, that every spring, Oneida Lake is the place to be for walleye opening weekend, not opener, opening weekend. Some years it'll be the opener. One every 7 years. That's what we're going to create. I had lunch with a friend of mine today, a very, very close old friend of mine. And I said to him, Syracuse, but all of New York State, we were the Empire State. Why? Why is New York called the Empire State? Because we were our own mini empire here in New York alone, between New York City and the port of New York and the funnel that went like this, or it went like this actually into New York City from the rest of New York State. We were the empire because we built, we made, we manufactured. We're a blue collar state, and Syracuse is a blue collar town that doesn't have much blue collar anymore. Okay. I've told you guys 1,000 times I'm from here. My grandp retired from Carrier back when I was 7 or 8 years old, and we'd go pick Grandpa up on a Friday afternoon at Carrier because they had one car and Grandma had the car. When you pulled up to the gate where all the men got out on Friday, and in those days, the company didn't give you a check. There was no direct deposit. You walked through the line and they paid you out in cash in your hand. You stuck in your pocket and you walked out the door. You walked out the door at Carrier, and it was like the state fair every Friday. It was a carnival. There was everything you could imagine, and for ways for those guys to spend their money. Those days are gone in New York. And so we don't manufacture, we don't make things like we used to anymore. We can talk about a lot of reasons why that happens, but the political and business climate has made it to where manufacturing in New York State is a relic. It's a dinosaur. So what does that mean? What do we have left? Well, we still have to make our money here, and we still have to survive as a state and as a community. So what do we have to offer? We have incredible natural wonders, so to speak. We have lakes and rivers abounding. We have a ton of water up here. We have tourism dollars, and we have Oneida Lake is it's the biggest inland body of water in New York State. I'm gonna say, I mean, we can argue this, or we can compare other bodies of water, but I'm gonna say it's the best fishery in New York State. It's an enormous lake that is short of a Great Lake, is very large and impressive, and we're going to show the Northeast how proud we are of it, and that we want to share it with them at least one weekend a month or a year. I mean, one weekend a year. And we're going to open our arms because Central New Yorkers are incredibly nice, welcoming people. Have been always and forever. My wife comes from New Jersey, and she will tell you when she moved up here, the biggest thing she's ever noticed about upstate New Yorkers is how nice they are. And that's the truth. The vast majority of people here are exceedingly nice, and they're quick to lend a hand to their brothers and sisters, and and we're going to open our arms and our lake with open arms and say, hey, we really have something amazing here, and you're welcome to come check it out. I asked for questions, so let's go through. That was my logo guy. Oh, said they're still working on it. All right. Jim Carker, Rick Menzel, Merlin Johnson. Remember, no glasses on. Yeah, I did this yesterday. I kept doing this because these things are perpetually dirty. And even if they're not dirty, they're dirty. So how you guys doing? Rumble seat. Eric Wisniewski. What's up, Beaker? I just yanked everything right out. Whoa. Crystal, how are you today? Rick Menzel, yep. Mary Burke, Gary Walters. Good evening. Go to the American Legion most Fridays. Yeah. Which one? The Legion up in the square? Stan Seafood in Rome. Lines at all the fish fry places this time of year. Yeah, I know. It's never fish fries never out of season for me. There's not a Friday goes by I wouldn't hit up a fish fry. George Parson, how you doing? Tim Graver, what's up, buddy? Jim G, first time he's made it all week. Lived in Rome 20 years. Good old food places there. Best place is the Franklin Hotel. Interesting. Waiting on the logo reveal. I took the day off so I wouldn't miss the show. Jim's not being serious, just for the record, everybody. Is the price of the tournament tickets listed, or can you tell us? I haven't finalized that yet, David. Last year it was $20. I'm going to tell you one thing though. So here is something that I will say to you, and I don't know what the price is, but I can tell you right now, the very first week of sales, there's going to be a deal. There's going to be a special deal for people that buy in that first week, and the weeks are going to be listed. It's going to be the 1st through the 8th. Yeah, it's going to be the 1st through the 8th. And we have 9 weeks to sell 500 tickets a week. But week 1, I'm going to tell you, I have everybody's email address that's done it before. And then I have a mailing list with a QR code that you scan the QR code and it takes you to sign up for the mailing list. The people on our mailing list, okay? If you want to make sure that you're going to get the best deal on a ticket all season, all of the whole 9 weeks, get on that mailing list, because people on that mailing list are going to have the first shot at the best deal on tickets for the Derby. And that's going to be the very first week of the Derby. So everybody and the people that are on that list are going to know in advance what the deal is. Okay. So I'm just putting that out there. And I'm working on weekly prizes to give away for everybody that bought tickets within that week's period of time. And we have the defined periods, and we have the ability on the website to capture every single ticket number. And so let's say I give away $100 gift pack of tackle. Okay. It's going to cost you whatever your ticket price is to get in. And then you're buying the ticket anyway, and somebody's going to win that raffle of that group of tickets. So that's we're doing everything we can to get. We're going to get our numbers, guys. We are going to get our numbers, and you're going to see right on the website. It's going to tell you how many tickets we sold and what the current up-to-date number of places we're paying, and what the amounts are exactly on a running total. As the website is up and running, it's going to be telling us every single time and updating. So you're going to see, and the more of us that get in, the more payouts, the more money, the more prizes, all of those things. So get the boat in the water. Lake is wide open. I know, Randy. I should have did it Wednesday when I had the afternoon free, and I didn't. I'm kind of glad that it's not all iced up and everything right now. But if Sunday happens like it's supposed to, the boat will be in the water Sunday, and I'll be on it fishing. So because I'm ready. I was over at my buddy Don's in Muskrat Bay today. Same thing. It's wide open. I'm ready. Him and I were looking at it. It was a perfect day, a perfect shot. Jim Hagler, how you doing? Don Terry, what's up, buddy? How much does it cost for non-fishermen to come to Walleye Fest? To come to the grounds doesn't cost you anything. There's no admission ticket, and We're going to have live music Friday and Saturday night. Friday night at the pier where we had the Ice Bowl. And we're going to have the kickoff, the kind of the happy hour weekend kickoff party that Friday night starting at 5 p.m. Live music, cash bar, food, stuff going on in the parking lot. And then Sunday, the festival grounds open at noon, and they're going to go all the way till we turn the lights off. The music stops somewhere around 10 o'clock that night. And then again on Sunday, the festival grounds are open from noon to 6. We're doing the awards ceremony there. So it's going to be awesome. I mean, but there's no cost to come to just Walleye Fest. The only cost to get in is your ticket to Fish the Derby, and everybody needs a ticket. That's really the key. And those ticket numbers, at the very least, are going to put you in multiple raffles for door prizes. Just the ticket, just the number on your Derby ticket. So even if you're somebody that maybe isn't fishing, or if you're a guy that, maybe the wife and a couple kids you got don't really fish, but you want an extra chance to win some prizes, you can buy a family pack of tickets. I think we're working on a reduced price for a 4-pack or more. So it's you can still buy everybody a Derby ticket, even if they're not going to fish it, just for a chance to win something. So keep that in mind as well. Is there enough walleye in that lake for this? Yes, barely. I mean, 1 million walleyes, so let's see, even if you had 5,000 guys fishing it, that would mean you would have to each catch, 4,000? 5,000, that's 3 and 3. Yeah. So each person would have to catch 4,000 walleyes. That shouldn't be that hard. You catch muskie where you're at? Not in Oneida Lake, no. I was told years ago they put tiger muskies in here, but then Jake from Cornell, when we talked about that at the Ice Bowl, said, in fact, the state has never officially put any in, so maybe there isn't. I thought there was, but I know. So I don't think so. You should have a special extra prize if you are a member of the Oneida Lake Association. Think of the new members we could attract. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I have to reach out to the Oneida Lake Association, and I have not done that yet. But hopefully they'll have a booth at the show and be recruiting new members there and be a part of it. And I'm sure they will. They were always a big supporter of the Lions Club Derby, and that's what I would assume they would be with us as well. How else is Walleye Fest being promoted to reach outside the local area? I'm working on unfortunately, I'm working on being on TV here in Syracuse, local and cable. I don't know if anybody has any connections with any place up and down the thruway or the 81 corridor with those kind of things, like a Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, Utica, Albany, Binghamton, Watertown. Anybody has any connections in the TV departments there? Let me know, because we could certainly make a road trip and do an interview and hopefully spread the word that way as well. E-Trix, what's up, buddy? How do you get on the list, sir? I will have in the description box below, and you can go to any of the previous ones. I'll have the link for that Derby mailing list right there, David, and you can get right on that. With out-of-state people coming in, what about a link on the website to the regulations for Oneida? Well, regulations are different. That's something that someone with a fishing license is supposed to know. So, I mean, we can put a link to stuff like that, but the Derby is not. We're not here to enforce fish and game laws. That's for the DEC to do. So if you buy your license, you're saying that I know the rules and I'm abiding by them, not saying, oh, geez, I didn't know. First 4,000 get extra prize. I know someone that caught a tiger musk on Oneida. I've heard that before, Scott. I asked Jake that, and he said no, but that's from an official capacity. Jesus Christ. So rumble seat. Okay. I'm gonna do rumble seat's joke. So hey, I bumped into a dwarf's car yesterday. We're standing there looking at the damage. He said, "I'm not happy." I said, "Well, then which one are you?" Look at that. We're almost at 30 minutes. It's 4:41. If you guys are getting out of work at 5, it's time to put the phone down, unlock your office door so nobody could come in while you were watching the guy with the long beard talk about, whatever. Man, I love you guys. Yeah, Jim G, that would be a great idea. Can you imagine? Again, so when we did the double live event on New Year's Eve day, Bob and his lovely wife showed up, and I had told myself, because I knew he was coming, I had told myself under no circumstances did I dare give him a live microphone. And then when we got into the question and answer portion, I was so caught up in it that when he asked the question, I walked right over and I handed him the microphone and I went, "Oh, I'm going to regret that." But in his defense, he was extremely well behaved. Not that you would know that from any of this now. Keith Horns, I'm offended. No, you're not. No, you're not. So I could only imagine what Bob would say, Mr. Rumbleseat would say, if I had him on live TV. Could anybody? And I guarantee you, the one that would be cringing the most would be his wife, because she'd be like, "Well, I know what is capable of coming out of that mouth, and he can't be trusted." I'm assuming that she says that a lot, like he can't be trusted. And I'm assuming also that he's probably better now than when he was younger, when she probably met him. So I would think now that you can't say that. Oh man, that's funny. Funny. This is awesome. This is awesome. You guys are the best, man. She does. I can, yeah. Well, good. There's your Friday funny right there. Nah. Fatty made it funny. I'm not that fat. I'm just fluffy. It's a difference. There's a big difference. It's just my sweatshirt is big. That's all. I think it's the beard. The beard makes me look, fat. All right. You guys go home. Get out of work. Get your weekend started. I'm not sure what tomorrow's going to bring. The weather's supposed to be gnarly, and it's been pretty unsettled. I can't imagine thinking up a weirder scenario than the weather here in the last 36 hours, maybe. Snow, rain, sleet, freezing rain, ice, back to snow. And Sunday, it's supposed to be in the 40s. So, green beer Sunday. Yeah. Yep. Green beer Sunday. Thanks, Jim. I'll tell her. All right, everybody. I love you guys, man. Have a great weekend. I'll see you tomorrow somewhere, sometime. I'm not sure of either of those things. Sunday, hopefully, I'll see you from the boat. And other than that, I'm out. Have a great Friday evening. Keep your tip up.